Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at a pistol that I've been trying to get my hands on since 2017, and I've had not too much luck. Fortunately, one of our viewers was kind enough to send us one in for review. This product is called the Hudson H9. It's a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. At the 2017 SHOT Show, I was at Media Day, and way at the end of the lineup there of all the shooting stations was a new company called Hudson. Now, look at the pistol. The pistol looked sort of weird. It sort of looked like a very strange mutant version of a Glock. It was quite different. So I went over and took a look at it. And when I shot it, I was rather impressed with it. But I tried getting hold of these guys for quite some time. I just didn't have any luck. But the pistol certainly left an everlasting impression in my mind of something that was American-made that was quite different. And Hudson's a company out of Temple, Texas. So, of course, it being a Texas company even inspired me even more. So we're going to jump right into it. The pistol came in a very expensive, a very, very well-made case, magnetic front. And here you have the pistol. You open that up. We have a sticker, we have a manual, and we have 2 spare magazines, and we also have spare grip panels as well. This one here, just a regular old checkering. We had the rattlesnake skin type grips that are on it. Now, as I previously stated, it was unveiled in 2017 at the SHOT Show. It was 3 years in development, and once it was shown at the SHOT Show for the first time, it took a while before any of them really hit the wild. And what sort of was special about it was the fact that it married some of the Glock features, or the striker-fired modern features, with the M1911. Now, as you know, I'm not an M1911 fan. However, I can't judge everything based on my biases. For those who like 1911s, this is a very interesting option. Really what it does that's very different from any other striker-fired pistol is primarily the trigger. Unlike the trigger that you have on most striker-fired pistols, or actually most modern pistols, where the trigger, as you pull back, it pulls back on an angle. This has the M1911 type trigger where the trigger pulls directly to the rear. And it gives you a much different feel for as far as reset and for as far as trigger pull. You do have a safety on here as well, sort of similar to what Glock has for as far as it being a trigger safety. But once that trigger safety is disengaged, the trigger pulls back like a M1911. You also have an M1911 type grip. If you look at the back here, you'll see we have something that sort of looks like a mainspring housing in the back that's flat. Now, this frame is all steel. There's nothing lightweight about this gun. You have a weight on this gun of 34.5 ounces. So this is not a lightweight pistol by no means. You do have an accessory rail on here as well, and also you have an ambi slide stop on here. You do have a good-sized beaver tail on here as well, so there's no chance to your hand getting sliced by the slide. You'll notice we have a standard-looking striker-fired top on here. The front sight you see here is a Trijicon front sight. It's a tritium sight with an orange exterior on it, which is very, very easy to pick up. And your rear sight is totally solid. But you have the way this is set up, it gives you a very quick sight picture. You also notice that, like what you see with the Glock and several other pistols, the Caracal and so forth, you have a very, very low bore axis. Now, this is something that's definitely improved over the M1911 due to the fact that you have a very high bore axis on the M1911. And really what that does for you is a couple things, is the way that the pistol feels when it shoots. When you shoot a gun with a higher bore axis, you definitely get a lot more of that muzzle flip that jumps up. When you get it more in line with your shoulder, you're getting more of a push back. And it gives you a less muzzle flip, and it's that much easier for you to control. So the lower bore axis makes a major difference on felt recoil and also your follow-up shots. So that's where you get some massive improvements over the 1911. You do have a 15-shot magazine. And you also have a very strange-looking blockiness here, which first time you'd look at it, you'd think you would have like a laser module or whatnot. No, that's not the case. The lower area here is where you would hold your recoil spring. This also keeps the recoil spring and the slide in line with your arm. So you have basically a complete inline construction on the pistol with both the recoil spring as well as the slide. Now, it is a little bit on the bulkier side. One of the things that really got me about this pistol was the U.S. has been really behind in the pistol market for many, many years. In fact, if you go back to 1985 with the XM9 trials, the U.S. didn't even manufacture a pistol that could meet the minimum criteria. Same thing happened in recent years with the XM17 last year. There was no American-made pistol that was able to beat the foreign-made pistols, which shows that we've had a big trend over the last 30 or so years of not having a lot of good ingenuity coming out of the United States for as far as pistol manufacture. This was really one of the first things I've seen where it was something different. It was definitely a improvement over something that's been, and it marries two of the products together that have been most popular in this country. You have your M1911, and it also marries the modern Striker Fired. So this is probably one of the more advanced pistols that have been manufactured in the United States in quite some time. You know, if you look at mostly what we have here, we have Striker Fire pistols that have been copied off of European designs. You know, we have pistols that are either based off of older designs like the Smith & Wesson 59 series or something along those lines. We don't have a lot new, and the lack of having anything introduced into the U.S. military for the XM17 program does show that. Now, this is not a military-grade pistol. This thing would be a boat anchor compared to what we have for U.S. military. U.S. military does like manual safeties, which this doesn't have. However, if you were so to choose to have a manual safety on this pistol, you could get one. They do have a 1911 style throw that you could get. But I was just really impressed with it because it was definitely out of the box thinking compared to what we have. And there's been a lot of attempts over the years to marry the 1911 up with more modern designs, but none of them I think really did it as well as this one did. Now, this pistol also has multiple patents on it as well for several different designs on it. So this was definitely somewhat newer technology. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the features of this pistol. So the weight of this pistol is 34.5 ounces with an overall length of 7.6 ounces with a length of 7.6 inches. Barrel length is 4.28 inches, width 1.24 inches with a height of 5.2 inches. Short stroke locking breech mechanism. You have a magazine capacity of 15 plus 1. The sight radius is 6.26 inches, which gives you a very good sight radius for precision accuracy. You have 3 safeties in here as well. You have the trigger safety, you have the firing pin safety, and you do also have an optional thumb safety if you so choose. As you saw, we do have an accessory rail on here. Your trigger pulls about 4.5 to 5 pounds. This one here measured out at 4.5 even. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to take this pistol apart and we're going to show you the inside of it. So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're clear. And we have sort of a disassembling latch button here, which we're going to push in all the way. And what that does is it releases the lever on the side to rotate downward. And we do have to dry fire the pistol for the slide to come off. Now, the easiest way to disassemble is to do it upside down. And then we have the barrel as you see here. Looking right here, we have the slide, very, very well machined. You'll see we have the firing pin safety right here, and we have the striker system right here. But you'll also know we have a very long tang on the front here. Looking at the barrel, you have a standard Browning tight barrel. It locks up from the front right here. This is a standard conventional rifling, Lansing grooves. Now looking at the frame, you'll see that we have the recoil spring in place. Now, according to the manual, you do not want to remove the recoil spring. That stays right in place. And you'll see where we have the firing pin safety here. We also have a drop safety on here as well. So if the pistol was to be dropped, that it wouldn't go off. Now, this is an extremely heavy frame. But again, it's supposed to have that of the 1911. The 1911 all steel is extremely heavy as well. So it's exactly what it's supposed to be. Now, when we look at this pistol, I look at this more as a target pistol or more of a carry pistol for somebody who likes that 1911 feel, but wants to have the high capacity and the durability of a newer type pistol. But I have to say the machining on this is extremely well. Reassembly, we're going to insert the barrel like we would any other pistol. Now, when we reassemble, we want to reassemble upside down. That just makes things so much easier. Goes right in place like so. Now we're going to rotate the lever, and we're going to push it back into place until we hear it lock. And there you have it. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this to the range and we're going to see how it shoots. We did something a little bit different with this pistol, being the fact that it's brand new. We put 7 types of ammunition through it, full magazines of each, to check for reliability. What we're going to do is we're going to put some different kinds of ammunition through this Hudson 9. The first one we're going to do is the Hornady Custom. It's 147 grain XTP. Next thing we're going to try is a Hornady Critical Duty. 9mm Luger plus P, 135 grain flex lock. Next thing we're going to try is my favorite. This is the Federal HST 124 grain. Next one's going to be the SIG match. It's a 147 grain match, jacketed hollow point. Next one's going to be a new cartridge introduced by SIG. It's the M17 9mm NATO, which is a 124 grain plus P, full metal jacket. UMC 115 grain full metal jacket. As we saw from the range footage, the pistol performed pretty much flawlessly with all the ammunition that it was put through. Now, the first couple rounds that we had with this, we did have a couple failures to feed, as you can see from the photograph. And believe it or not, that was just on regular 115 grain ball ammunition. With all the high performance ammunition that it had, it functioned flawlessly. Something else that I was very pleased with was the ejection on this. The way this pistol was designed, there was no brass hitting me in the face. It all pretty much ejected to around 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock positions, so they definitely fixed the ejection problem of many semi-automatic pistols with an erratic ejection pattern that could end up in somebody's face. So now we're going to talk about a little bit more of I guess we'll call it the unpleasantness. As of right now, this pistol is not currently available. The company is pretty much shut down. That's due to some financial issues. Now, first of all, I want to say this, that in this day and age, right now, 2019, with the way the gun culture is and with the politics that are going on, it is extremely hard to get an up and running startup gun company going. It is very difficult to find banks who lend money. It's very hard to find partners who are willing to take the risk of investing in gun manufacturers. It's a very hard thing to do right now, unless you're very well established. A lot of gun companies don't have a lot of backing, and unfortunately, that's where Hudson is right now. Hudson had a subcontractor that they had manufactured over $387,000 worth of parts for. And unfortunately for Hudson, they were not able to pay that. And they were sued by this company. So due to the fact that they had that kind of outstanding debt, they did not show up at the 2019 SHOT Show, which they were very much so missed. They were quite popular the last couple of years at the SHOT Show, so I think there was a lot of people who noticed the fact that they were missing. And unfortunately, along with that being shut down, customers who've had pistols that were in for any kind of repair, they've had no answer. There's no answering in the telephones. Those who have pistols that need to go in for repair have no place to send the pistols for manufacturing corrections for as far as pistols that were defective. And quite a bit of the Hudson staff was laid off. So I'm really pulling for the company. I do hope that they can find some kind of a financial backer who will help them get out of their stump they're in right now and get this vendor paid so this gun can go back into production. Now, that does not mean the pistol's still not available through some of the distribution channels. Brownells currently has these on sale, so it's not completely gone. They're just not manufacturing any new pistols. And if I do recall, there was over 2,000 pistols that were made around that number, maybe a little bit more. So the pistols can still be found out there, but there's no newer production. And with having no backup for as far as customer service or not having the manufacturer open, the biggest risk you have is if it does go down, there's no spare parts, and right now you have no place to send it. But I have to say, this pistol that I have here functioned very well. I had no issues with it, just those couple of malfunctions early on. It did work quite well. The accuracy, as you saw from the target, was quite well. It went through a lot of different types of ammunition with no issue, and those are some of the most common defense cartridges that are out there today. So, we do hope the best for the company, and that they do get these pistols back out there. It was very impressive. I think it shows some American ingenuity that we haven't seen in a long time with a lot of our manufacturers. This pistol could have a future in front of it if they were to make it with a lighter frame. So as it's set up right now, for your average person, it's a bone anchor. It's extremely heavy, but well made, well engineered, well thought out. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share.